Welcome into Mountain Ridge High School for KSL Sports coverage and season debut of girls lacrosse here in the 2024 spring season is the Mountain Ridge Sentinels. Prepare to host the Park City Miners. Thank you for joining us, everyone. My name is Dean Stewart. Please be joined by Kenzie Christiansen once again. Kenzie, we get the runner-up in 6A taking on the defending 5A state champion. Best of both leagues going head-to-head here early in the 24 season. Couldn't ask for a better start.
No, you really can't. I think those are two very competitive, strong teams. Just like any program, everybody loses players, but you also gain great players filling those shoes. And I think we're going to have a great turnout today, seeing who's filling in, like on Park City, Lily Hunt's spot, and the, unforgettable goalie, Ava Kimchi. Seeing how those players step up and fill those shoes is going to be amazing to see, the strides.
We're going to learn a lot early about Park City.
Absolutely.
Their first game of the year is here tonight, and you talk about having to fill shoes of a great offensive player and one of the best goalies I think we saw all year last year.
Absolutely.
And it is going to be the junior Marcella Woolley will get the start between the pipes today for Park City, and she's going to have her hands full. This Mountain Ridge team, we talk about the runners-up in 6A. They were the 5 seed, but when you watch them play, I thought they were better than a 5 seed. Certainly, made a great playoff run. Coach Brush has done such a good job with this program, and you look at, they return one of the really great individual players in Emery Clark, but she's got a lot of talent around her.
Absolutely. Emery does have a lot of pressure on her. She has a lot of skill set from, her year-round work. She is coming off of mid to last season. She was injured with a knee injury, and now she's coming back full speed. And I think she's just ready to get out there and grind and really put in that team effort.
Starting goalie today for Mountain Ridge will be number 27, the senior Bailey Sanders. Mountain Ridge 1-0. They defeated Davis last week to get the start on the year. She had a .750 save percentage in that one, so she has been good between the pipes and the cage, and we'll see if that can give Mountain Ridge an edge as we're underway here. We want to remind you, the clock you see on your screen, unofficial. At times we start it early, stop it late, that sort of thing, to try to keep it trued up with the official clock here on the field. Mountain Ridge in the home whites, Park City in the road blacks, as the Sentinels and Taya Chalk take this back to X. Chalk, a returner off of last year's squad as well.
Just to have reference, the 30 is the restraining line, as you saw the Park City players stop, and the 8 and the 12 are in gray. A little bit hard to see out here in the rain.
We are playing gray lines. Good luck. It's hard for us to see them. This is Emery Clark. Oh, and that just hit off the post, but a good look there for Emery early on.
Yeah, they've had really strong attack motion right now, looking for the good opportunity and not just taking it whenever they feel like it. They're actually waiting for the great opportunity.
Boy, that's a good pass right in front. And that one, there's your first goal on our season opener. It goes to Mountain Ridge. Beautiful find on the cutter and a nice finish.
Yeah, I think that went very well. That was a little bit of a give and go kind of situation and when the catcher got it, it didn't have a great balance. It looked like she was still trying to find her hold on it, but she was able to find it very fast and get that shot just over that right shoulder of Park City.
I thought that was a really difficult pass.
Absolutely.
I thought the defense was there.
The defense was right there, between body and ball, so it was great. So that pass was a good catch, or that catch was a good catch.
Head back here to the draw. Good start for Mountain Ridge. I love that we get two top teams playing here early on in the year. Park City winning the draw. They're coming right up. And now Park City will settle in to their offense. First look here at the minor offense in this 2024 campaign.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what kind of defense Mountain Ridge is running. Mountain Ridge in the past has ran man and zone. Right now it's looking like some man, which is awesome. They're staying pretty tight on those Park City players. There's
a pretty good wind here blowing left to right on your screen. So Park City playing into that wind in this first quarter as we do get the call there.
Shooting space was the call. That means she gets an 8-meter opportunity. I believe she's on that first inside. Like we said, those hashes are gray. A little hard to see, but first inside, she'll get that opportunity for the shot.
So Park City set up here for really their first prime opportunity. Taking a run in. That was stick checked away. Nice work by that Mountain Ridge defense.
That was beautiful. That defender was watching that stick side as she should and really just had that good takeaway on the check.
That's a tough clear taken away by Park City. They might have a little opportunity here. Hoxema trying to keep that. Mountain Ridge defense going to be called here.
And interesting to see how Park City's about to set up. We only have one girl behind cage, one on GLE, and everybody else approximately where is normal.
We do have, for those that follow girls lacrosse very closely, new quarter rules, I don't want to say new timing rules, but rather than halves, playing quarters here. Of course, a running clock, except for inside of the final 2 minutes of a half and regulation. So, again, just 9 to go, or a little over 9 to go here in this opening quarter. As that one jarred loose, Park City still on it. We're getting some rain now at Mountain Ridge. This was much how we started the year last year between the Sentinels and Park City and Pleasant Grove. Is a crease violation there. We'll give it to the Sentinels.
That was a strong hold off for that defense for the Sentinels. They were swarming ball, but they had their head on a swivel watching their own girl, but also assisting on ball whenever it was needed. A great defense overall. Looked like they had great communication down there as well.
Boy, and another clear that was challenging for Mountain Ridge was almost taken away by Park City. They were able to win that with chalk, but we do have a call here. We'll give it back to Park City.
A newer rule this year is that dependent on the call, the player doesn't have to go to a full settled stance. They do have to recognize that like there was a call, but they don't have to go to that full settled stance that they had to in the past.
Before a self-start?
Correct.
Okay. Good pressure there by Mountain Ridge, and that wins them the possession. It was a nice job there by Callie Guyman for the Sentinels. Here comes Hanks. You see Park City trying to take that away, but they do get called here for in the sphere, right?
It could have been, yeah. I honestly didn't see the signal, but from my angle, it looked like a great check. But that's why we have officials on the field. They can see the correct angles, and if that was too close to her head, that could be in the sphere or across the body, depending on what the official is seeing. And they're trained. They're the best ones to be there. Back
behind the goal. Here's Chalk. Coming around.
I think the signal I just saw was stick to body contact, which is going to give her an 8-meter opportunity. We call it an opportunity because not always do they shoot. Sometimes they pass, sometimes they pull out. So we're going to see what opportunity she takes.
I love that decision by Chalk, too. Mountain Ridge was kind of spreading everything out. Rather than running a cutter, going to let her work from X. And earns the opportunity here. Taya.
And that's why we call it an opportunity.
Yeah. Fed in front, Clark trying to wrap around. Good slides there by Park City to take away those lanes. And Emery Clark is one where I think you're going to see a lot of double teaming tonight. Just with her skill set, you got to take her away, right?
Yeah, either she's going to get face guard, which means they put one of their strongest defenders on her, or they're going to get a strong double team. So we'll see how that kind of gets attended tonight.
Emery had 3 goals in that first game against Davis and had a .600 shooting percentage. That's pretty
amazing.
Good.
Yeah, no, that's also really awesome.
Pretty good.
It's hard to see the signals. I believe she's holding 3 fingers up for 3 seconds. Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like. When 3 seconds happens, what it is a defended player standing inside the 8, and it's a major foul, so she does get put behind on the whistle.
Clark. Boy, you see how quick Park City is to come over and help there.
Okay, I think the flag is being held. I do see some yellow in her hand.
Yep.
Sent Emery up, I believe, on that first inside, but on the 12.
Back at X here. Clark works to the wing. We were talking before the game, Kenzie, and said it just feels like Park City every year. You don't necessarily know who the cast is going to be, but that defense always really tough.
They are very tough. They are good at having body defense this year. I'm seeing that loud and clear, that they've worked hard on their defense, making that proper touch.
And Hanks had a shot, but it's waved off as the whistle came prior to that. So that goal will not count.
Correct. So yeah, as you saw there, that does not count. It's shooting space. She's getting pulled up to the 8 for the opportunity. It looks like she's a little bit off center at that second inside, but she'll set up for that opportunity.
But a good setup here for Kimber. You got an opportunity to take a quick shot.
Yeah, but she's looking over to the left side too.
And that one's sailing a little bit. That's a good work by that Park City D, collapsing down, taking away her lane.
Take away that lane, get those sticks up, do everything you possibly can in those short moments to stop that goal.
Approaching 4 minutes to go here in our opening quarter. Again, wrapping around and scoring. And Taya Chalk finishing it.
Chalk had a great opportunity there. She was able to roll the crease. Defender opened up her hips, which was able to make Chalk just take that little few extra steps, have her stick out and free to wrap it for that shot. It's beautifully done, and overall, just good job.
Well, again, not the first time we've seen Chalk.
No, yeah.
I don't want to say take matters into her own hand, but recognize, hey, I can work from X. I've got a little bit of a speed advantage. If you're Park City, what do you try to do to take that away? Because you bring help, you free up some of those open shooters. How do you combat that defensively?
Defensively, you just really got to be self-aware and be aware of your teammate and communicating. You got to know where your help is and if you have any or not. And if you don't, like she didn't very much so, you just got to be self-aware and know what you need to do to stop that attacker as they come in on you.
The rain is becoming stronger.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot harder to play out here with some wet
Yes,
sticks.
it
All
is.
the stringing will be hard.
And we had procedure here on that draw, so Park City will be awarded the possession.
Nice catch.
Boy, tough angle. How about
And
that
made
shot
it.
for Park City as the Miners getting on the board. That one caught me by surprise.
That caught me
Kenzie.
absolutely by surprise. As I was watching that transition, I was actually looking at the opposite side of the field, but she was able to keep it calm and steady, and that's what you want, that calm and steady moment to see the open lane and take the opportunity and shoot. That's exactly what she did. You got to take those opportunities when they're in front of you because it may not be there the next time you're down there.
Was that Megan McGee, number 5, I believe, on the goal? It's hard to see
so.
that number.
I believe so.
That's who we're going to credit. So Park City scoring, and that's a quick response for the Lady Miners.
I wouldn't say Park City has an advantage, but it definitely is colder up in the mountains than it is down here.
Yeah.
So they might be a little bit more used to the rain, per se. So let's see how they're able to play through this and have the opportunities.
Although, in fairness, spring is really just winter, too. So it's just a continuation of what we had for the last several months.
It's true. It's true. Flag. Yeah, it's really hard to see those officials' hands. It's freezing out there. They got gloves on. We can't really see their arms. I'm sorry. We're not going to be able to see as much of the calls. But that was a flag, and they're getting pulled back.
Worked over with Hanks. Here's Clark. Over with Guyman.
When I was talking to Coach Angie, she was telling me that one of Emery's goals this year is to get more assists and be an assister versus a scorer. So
I love that.
I think that's a super good teammate. She knows she can make the goal, but the assists are just important.
Well, and there are going to be times where they need her, right, to step up and take that shot and make that goal. But if you can get some diversity in this offense, it's going to make the team more difficult to defend and the team stronger.
That is exactly true. Finding a whole team that's strong and good unified is, an unstoppable team. Giving each other the opportunity at any point to be a good teammate, and they take it, that just shows a good person.
Here's Cannon. Works this over, I believe, with Homestead. Cannon working back to the middle. Oh, what a shot. Throwing it at the feet. And Mountain Ridge moving back to a 2-goal lead.
Yeah, she was taking that pressure from the defender. The defender was nice and low down on her hip, having good pressure there, but she was able to get up above her as she did see that defender duck down, and she took that opportunity and launched it out of her stick.
I think a second goal for Cannon, and she also had a hat trick in that first game against Davis. So a good start for Olivia Cannon this year for this Mountain Ridge offense.
No, it's looking great. I love seeing how much playability each player has gotten, and it's been great. These poor players are soaking. It's cold. It's wet out there.
It is.
So we might see some crazy passes going on, even some catches and shots, because that wet stringing is no fun.
Boy, good ball movement for Park City here. And that pass just a touch over. I believe that was Crawford who was working in from GLE. McGee.
I've noticed they kind of play a little bit like the boys. The boys kind of do a 5-stack, kind of like a die. And I've noticed that they have a middle player most often. Park City does, like they do right now.
Final 90 seconds of the opening quarter. McHenry. Couldn't find that cutter. Mountain Ridge stayed right with it. Oh, nice feed in front, but that couldn't be handled. Ground ball that Mountain Ridge had momentarily, and then the whistle here will give it back to the Sentinels.
And the sphere is what's being called. That just means the defendant's stick is just too close to their head, making it unsafe to play.
Boy, Park City super aggressive here. Trying to get that possession back in the final minute, and it works. McGee.
Nice
check there by Hanks. McGee trying to scoop it. Her teammate finds it and scores. Park City with the goal. And that was all created by that pressure that McGee was able to help win the possession from.
Absolutely. I think there was a little bit of teamwork in there on that ground ball. I think the ball was a little bit kicked out or tossed out, able to get it picked up by that outside attacker and just released it into goal. Everybody's focus was down on the ground, so that one player that was able to pick it up and just have her head up immediately just got a great shot and great opportunity while everybody else was still looking down.
And I could not see the number because they all huddled around the goal scorer immediately.
And so yeah.
If you've got it, Kenzie,
I think it's
the
furthest girl away from us. Yeah.
Out on the edge?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, we'll get that for you then. Final 40 seconds of this first quarter.
Oh.
And Park City with a win.
Way to have her back. That's a good teammate right there, being able to see that a flaw may have happened, but she had her back to pick up that ground ball.
I want to say that's number 10, which would be Lyles. As Mountain Ridge will restart it here.
So we talked about this a second ago, acknowledging the foul. It is a defender coming out, and it is a self-start. But what did not happen is the defendant that had the foul on him did not move behind, and that still does have to happen.
So final seconds of the opening quarter complete. Mountain Ridge, good start here at home as they lead Park City 3-2 after the first quarter. We'll step aside, be back quarter number 2 after this. Welcome back. Start of the second quarter, 3-2. Mountain Ridge with the lead over Park City. Dane Stewart, Kenzie Christiansen with you. Kenzie, our first game of the year. Oh, it's good to be back. And we talk about two teams that have postseason hopes, respective classification state championship hopes. What have you learned in the first 12 minutes?
You know what I've learned overall is that you can't hold last year's team to this year's team. Okay, the expectations that happened last year, they're amazing. We want to uphold all those great things and continue them into this year. But every year is a new year. Every year is a new team. And, you know, we hope for the best for every team. We hope for all the same opportunities for every team. But, you know, we are seeing a little bit different teams than we saw last year out on this field.
That's what makes coaching so difficult, right?
Absolutely.
Is that every year, hey, you know, how do you set up this group for ultimate success? And I think we've seen good starts from these two.
Absolutely.
Good responses from Park City after they trailed by 2 goals twice. Able to get quick answers.
Quick response, quick answers. You know, they're struggling out there. I don't think that was a bad pass. I just think her net was just a little too wet to be able to handle the ball.
So Park City now in transition. And this actually looks like number 18, which would be Sydney Hatcher, I believe. Again, it's hard to see that number. Park City able to maintain it.
Oh, they're playing backer. So I was talking about earlier, they kind of do like a zone, they kind of do man, but right now they do have a backer. I can't see who that is with the yellow head of her stick, but she's hovering behind the gal with ball to have that extra support on defense.
I believe that's Kylie Taylor, number 19 for Mountain Ridge defensively. Cut her right through, and that one couldn't be handled. Park City able to maintain it. Sander was trying to get that to clear for Mountain Ridge, but Park City able to stay on it. Trying to run around here. McHenry thrown back behind goal.
Yeah, Kylie Taylor has definitely taken on a big role. She's only played lacrosse, I think, from what I read, about a year, and she's taken a lot of great strides in that year, and now she's a team captain either.
Right in front. Oh, and that one, again, that's not the most velocity of a shot, but it works. Park City's tied it up at 3.
I got to say that's a super awkward goal, but that was a beautiful goal nonetheless. She was sandwiched between 2 Sentinels as she turned around with good control and was still able to let off a shot right on crease. Right, that's called being a good player. That's called being very controlled and great training to be able to just have that pressure on both sides of your body and have control of the ball for the shot.
All the Park City goals, this is probably going to get me in trouble with Minor Nation, but I don't think they've been the most crisp. It's just been hard-fought battles of working the ball right in front of the cage and a player being able to capitalize when they're in the right opportunity.
I think that is super fair to say. As mentioned a moment ago, it's a new team this year, right? New skill sets, and I feel like it's too hard right now with the wet nets to get a super crisp shot off. But Mountain Ridge is awesome at defense this year, and having that backer just really shutting down those drives.
And I think with the conditions, sometimes you got to find a way to maybe win an ugly game like this, right?
Absolutely.
This is not going to be a game where you're going to have super crisp conditions, and so it might get a little tough. You might have to play more physical brand and maybe a more jamming type of brand, but Park City's been able to navigate that here in the first quarter plus.
I think about every coach would agree with me. You can't let the conditions define your game or define your play. You gotta adjust to the conditions. The conditions will never adjust to you.
Yeah.
So just being able to find that, way to play in this kind of weather.
Adapt and react and apt and react.
Absolutely.
I was thinking Vince would catch that one, but he did not, so that's okay.
I heard a lot of apps there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was able to get back to Mountain Ridge. They did have that shot, but they were able to contain it back on attack.
So here's Guyman, offset here. I believe from 8. Callie coming in with a shot and a goal. That's when we talk about crisp goals. There you go.
That is the definition there. Yeah, Guyman did a super great job taking that shot, looking at the goalie, and just all her might shooting it through. Just overall good job with that shot, but also that's kind of a harder angle. She was in her right hand. I don't have to believe that. I saw that. She was in her right hand taking it in to make sure she has that angle on that far side. Sometimes it can be a little more tricky. Some coaches may encourage going non-dominant there, but she had an excellent shot with that dominant hand. 4th
goal of the year for the junior Callie Guyman, and putting Mountain Ridge back on top. Mountain Ridge was picked as the preseason favorite in Region 2.
No, Park City got a little tied up into each other.
But it is the Miners that come up with it, and they've got a head of steam. Crawford working to the cage, and that's saved.
That was a nice check from behind. That defender had a little bit of that stick side, was able to slow down that shot and that drive.
The push there.
Okay, so there's 2 fouls. That tee that she just made with her hands means alternate possession. Whoever won the coin toss must have been Park City, is who gets it first.
So it doesn't go off the last draw?
It does not go off the last draw. It goes off of coin toss.
Okay.
That's what happens at that beginning huddle. We kind of see what's going on there,
Yeah.
certify the gear, do that toss.
So Park City setting up their offense. McHenry found a little bit of a crease. And whistle here before that.
A charge.
I thought she had room to split through, but again, we're pretty far away.
We
Not
have
official
not the
right there.
best angle. I can't disagree with the ref, though. Honestly, she had so many defenders. She needed to look at an alternate position versus trying to push through them.
Park City able to come up with the steal. Right in front, and a shot on a goal.
That's that Chris goal we've been waiting for. Park City has those strong velocity shots. We are seeing them now. That was beautiful. She was able to get that stick out and open, had one defender between her and the goalie, and she was able to get that left hip shot off.
I believe it was Rogan Crawford with the goal for the Miners. Tied up at 4.
If you're wondering where Park City's at, they're over on the sideline talking with coach for just a second as they're working their way back to center.
Park City really starting to extend some of that pressure, especially in the Mountain Ridge defensive zone, prohibiting those clears. It's worked now, I think, 2 goals coming off some of those forwards being really active. Okay. We're bumping.
Yeah.
I mean, this is
There's
fairly
loud
loud
music.
Yeah.
I am trying to listen and respect
And
you,
I'm not gonna
Dane,
lie,
but I didn't hear one word you just said.
the pitch of that one was not resonating well in the ears. That one was a little rough. Park City with the possession here again. It feels like they're starting to feel more settled here in this contest, Kenzie.
I'm seeing that they're a lot more spread out this go around because they see they have a backer.
Oh, good ball movement, and that one just couldn't be handled right in front of the cage by McGee. Able to keep it here for the Miners. And the call there will have the possession stay here. How about that pass?
That was honestly exactly what they needed to do. They have so much pressure. The give and goes, the look on the inside and the cuts are what's going to help them a lot with this strong defense.
This is McGee coming in, looking to take the shot and scores. First lead of the game for Park City coming from Megan McGee.
McGee had a great shot there as she was taking off that 8-meter opportunity. She pulled the goalie to the other side of the pole, which she needed to be able to get that shot off on the opposite side of the goalie. So as she pulled across that right side of the goalie, got the left side of that goalie open and released to goal.
And I thought it was McGee. I thought it was number 5. They announced Crawford, who's number 9, so I'm not certain who it is. Regardless, it was a very well executed play.
Very well executed by the Miners.
I think it was McGee. I'm crediting McGee.
They're a team. If we say the wrong name, guess what? They support each other no matter what. They're a team. They're a family.
There you go.
They love each other no matter what.
Head back to the draw here. Again, first lead for the Miners. 6:45 to go in this half. There's a draw win for Mountain Ridge. Feels like it's been a while since they've been able to set up their offense. Here's the Sentinels. A little bit of space here for Cannon. Back here behind goal.
They're setting something up without telling us. There's some stack going up on that top elbow.
He just ran a cutter, but couldn't get The ball through.
A whistle did go off, I thought so
Yeah,
as well.
I heard one.
I think we're taking her back to the... I don't know what's going on. We'll see. Going back to the dot. If you don't know what the dot is, it's an extension behind goal of the 8. It's part of the CSA, which is that critical shooting area.
Chalk tried to feed right in front. That just couldn't quite be brought in by Homestead. Sphere there will allow Park City the start.
Those transitional checks can be really hard sometimes because, as that attacker going downfield is cradling, they do go, outside that split second, but as soon as they come back in, if that's when you check, you're getting in the sphere.
So Park City back on offense here.
Now we are doing a zone on Mountain Ridge now, a zone backer. Nice
Feeding it in front. You see that help come defensively. Oh, a nice job slipping a player right from behind goal. That's a beautiful goal there for Park City.
That was just smart IQ right there. Okay, we had that great play. Center girl got ball. Okay, she got that cut, but she was popping out, seeing maybe if she could get shooting space. Maybe that was the pumping was going on, but she was able to get that shot off because that low Park City player was able to get that pass and go through.
I believe it was Rogan Crawford with the Park City goal. And I love they're trying to break down that zone, right? And so you make that middle come up, and then you slip another player right behind it.
Absolutely.
That's just
that clean
beautiful
cut.
Strategy, X's and O's there from the Miners.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's exactly what I think every coach teaches from a young age is once you see a ponytail, that means the back of the head of your defender, you cut it, and that's exactly what she did. Well, she didn't even have a defender there because her defender was on ball.
Been 4 unanswered goals here for Park City.
Yeah, this has been a super intense game. And it's been pretty 50-50 on draws, too. So it's not like, some teams say the draw wins the game. Not necessarily, Here it's been 50-50, and goals are happening both sides very fluidly.
Right now it's starting to feel like an execution, right? We're seeing Park City execute out of their offense more frequently than we're seeing Mountain Ridge in this, and primarily in the second quarter.
Absolutely. I'd have to agree with that.
And it's Park City here once again. That pass just a touch in front. Trying to keep it here with the Miners. And we had a cover there.
I think a cover and empty. I couldn't tell if it was a clap or no clap. Either way, Park City has back.
All right, in front. They lose the Park City Miner right in front of the cage, and it's another Miner goal.
That was a beautiful cherry picking as she was able to be in the inner side of the 8, get that clean catch, turned a shot with any hesitation in her mind. It was beautiful, well done, great teamwork, way to be in sync with each other, to be able to get that clean lane to each other.
And they said Coco Crawford on the goal. And a timeout being taken here. I think a good timeout. This game feels like Park City has the opportunity to really create some distance here in this second. So timeout, we'll step aside, be back just inside of 4 minutes to go in the first half. You're watching KSL Sports Rewind's Game of the Week presented by Heidemann and Associates. Welcome back. 3:50 to go. Left in this first half. 7 for Park City. 5 unanswered. Kenzie, if you're Mountain Ridge, what do you try to do over these last 4 minutes?
play your game. I think that's exactly what Coach Angie would be telling them, is play your game, go out there, do your best, do what you know how to do, and just have fun, honestly, overall. Just if you're not having fun, why are you playing, right? And so I think that's probably what she's telling them, is to stay crisp, play their game, and keep going.
Worked back behind goal. Park City's been so good tonight. Movement, especially without the ball. It's freed up a lot of opportunities for the offense. As they settle in here again, McHenry feeding in front. Shot and another goal for Park City, as it's now a 6-0 minor run.
That's amazing stick control. Mickey definitely had some conversations with them about getting those longer passes in, but also looking for that inside feed, which was beautiful. That person that fed in, she had 2 girls on her. Okay, she had great control, was able to catch it and split the ball between them. Great job.
Well, on Sophie Neff, I don't have heights on my roster. She's by far the tallest player out there.
Oh, absolutely.
So if you can work her in front of the cage and get a ball to her that she can possess, going to be difficult to match up with.
Yeah, to give perspective, the goal is 6 feet tall. That goalie's sitting about 5'5"-ish, maybe around there. So to see Crawford stand taller than that, definitely get her in front of that goal.
Another draw, and this one
Nice.
comes away with Park City once again.
Nice
Big
check.
burst from McGee. Has help right in front, and we got a whistle here.
Absolutely. That is a very good, clear definition of shooting space. Unfortunately, as it is, they did slow down the play, which is phenomenal, but someone did get in that shooting space. Shooting space is that lane between the girl and the goal, the shooter and the goal.
So start here straight away. Coming in, shot and a goal. Park City. Yeah.
Yep, it is a goal.
I was just waiting for the signal.
I am curious if they are going to call anything on that push, because she did hesitate. I thought she was going to call that push. Sometimes, depending on exactly what happened, we're not down there, but sometimes they call the goal good, and then up at center they say, oh, there's a push during after the goal, so it's going to be other team's ball. So, like I said, I wasn't down there. I don't know exactly what happened. We were screened by girls, but sometimes that happens.
9-4. Again, this was a 4-2 contest for Mountain Ridge early in this second quarter, and it has been all Park City since that point.
This music, they're jamming.
I feel like we turned up the volume.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was super loud.
Mountain Ridge with the win off the draw.
Oh, that was illegal.
Again, it feels like it's been a while since they've been able to set up offensively, see what the Sentinels can do. This is Clark. We talked about she's going to have her opportunities where they need her to score. This might be one of those.
That was a wild check, but Emery gets it back and gets a new opportunity with that ball in her stick.
Here's the start. Clark coming in. Boy, that stick got awfully high, yeah.
Okay, so a yellow flag. For anybody that's a little bit newer to lacrosse, it's called a held whistle or a slow whistle. Just means something's happened. They're waiting to see what the attacker answers to if they call the foul immediately or not.
So just a reminder, inside of 2 minutes in the half and regulation, clock will stop. Clark coming in, gets the shot in the goal. We talked about your best scorer has to recognize when they need them to step up, and Emery just did that for Mountain Ridge.
Yeah, she's taking that 8-meter opportunity, pulled that goalie to her non-dominant side, and released that shot down on that bottom pipe.
See if that can help spark Mountain Ridge. We saw them early on. Boy, the way they started looked really good early. They just haven't had a lot of possession for these last 10 minutes, but if you can get a couple wins here off the draw.
A goal can be made in 10 seconds. That ball is, we're the fastest sport on 2 feet for a reason. That ball moves super fast. So many goals can happen in just a few moments.
The rain continuing to come down pretty heavy. Still a pretty good wind as well, moving left to right on your screen. And
Oh.
yeah, that
Yeah.
stick came up.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. You know, that player obviously didn't mean to hit her, but when she were both going for that ball, Park City came down and unfortunately smacked that player on the head.
And this is going to be our first card of the season.
Yep, yellow card, 2 minutes out, non-releasable. If some people are familiar with that, it is non-releasable, so 2 minutes.
And we talked about how quickly you can score. Here's the opportunity for Mountain Ridge, right? You got a player off for Park City for the rest of the half. See if they can take advantage. Behind goal, this is Emery Clark.
Stick to body contact.
Emery. That one lost out. You saw Park City collapse down. It was Icabelli who's got it now for the Miners. And if you're Park City, this is one where you just want to drain the rest of the half,
Absolutely. Yeah, no, they're man down for 2 seconds, a few seconds into the next half as well. So they need to just hold possession as long as they can so that it's out of Mount Ridge's sticks.
Now, on the boys' side, if you're man down or man up and you have possession, you start the next quarter with possession. Is that true in the girls' game?
No.
Okay. Worked in front. Park City's looking for more, but it's saved there by Sanders. Nice play by Bailey.
We just talked about, hold the ball as long as you can, get it out of Mount Ridge's stick. But at the same time, if you have a lane and the opportunity, take it. Don't ever not take an opportunity.
Here come the Sentinels. Carly Farnsworth. Step in front. And now she'll peel back inside the final 30 seconds. Cannon. Clock down to 10. Cannon with a lane and a goal.
I saw that in slow motion. It was beautiful. She was able to switch to that left hand, had a wide open lane. Even defense was trying to crash in, but they were just not there in time to be able to stop that ripper.
So important for Mountain Ridge to get a goal with Park City being man down.
Absolutely.
And now you have back-to-back goals for Mountain Ridge right before the half.
That's
momentum.
That's great momentum. Some people say some teams are first half teams, some people are second half teams. So I think keeping the momentum as they're in situations like this, like man up, man down, keep the momentum going, to keep a tempo and keep playing your game. Don't let anything interfere you like the weather or a yellow card.
Final 11 seconds. Kenzie talks about don't let the weather stop you. You know how the weather doesn't stop me? I use my igloo. Go to iglooutfitters.com, IGLU. They're weatherproof. They're going to keep you warm on nights like this. Park City, maybe a late opportunity. And no, with that, the half will expire. But a great second quarter for Park City sees the Miners go up by 5 and take a 3-goal lead into the break. 9-6. Park City leading Mountain Ridge at the half. You're watching KSL Sports Rewind's Game of the Week, presented by Heidemann and Associates on KSLSports.com. Welcome back. Start of the second half. Dane Stewart, Kenzie Christiansen with you. We talked about Park City. They are man down to start, and so we will not have a draw to start the second half since they had possession to close out the frame in a man down / man up opportunity. They just start cleanly with it.
That's new to me. That might be a new rule. I'm not sure.
It's common on the boys' side. I wasn't certain if it would translate with.
It could be, yeah.
As
obviously.
they've introduced cards on the girls' side. And we haven't encountered that situation a lot in the last 2 years. So.
And I'm having a little bit of a hard time transitioning too. As I was just in Portugal playing for the Europe Cup, and we were playing sixes. And sixes, that's exactly how it is. So I was like, "Ooh, is that a rule here? I don't know." So
what kind of excuse is that, Kenzie?
I was in the beautiful sun
of
Portugal. I know.
I was in the beautiful clouds of Salt Lake.
the raining clouds.
It got up to 48 degrees. It was fantastic.
Very lovely.
Yeah.
So jealous.
Park City. They got a cutter right in front of that pass. Couldn't be handled. Slipping through, kept here. As you see, good support there from Coco Crawford. She's had a nice game tonight. Rain continuing to be very steady. And really, I think it took the teams maybe a couple minutes in that first quarter to adjust, but really that second quarter, I thought they both played through it pretty well.
I think they played more equally. I think they played towards, as a team, towards each other's strengths for sure.
See Park City continuing with that pressure and that back third for Mountain Ridge. Did good things in that second quarter and a stick check there, but in the sphere, hear the call.
So, yeah, that one is in the sphere, not necessarily it was the motion of the check. She was just hovering in her sphere the whole time that she was trying to go for the check. So, similar but different.
And that one lost. Park City now on the run, working through the middle.
Nice catch.
Good weaving here.
Way to absorb the pressure on that defense. She just kept with it versus, reacting to any type of pressure.
Neff will send this out to McHenry. McGee tried to feed that in front, but I don't think that her teammate saw that coming, and this gathered by Sanders. Clearing has been a bit of a challenge. That one just a little long, but we've got a whistle on the near side here.
She has her hand raised. Normally when the hand raised, it's offside. Yep, she's stopping the clock.
Mountain Ridge, one thrown up through the middle, and Park City here will start.
Yeah, good. She's using her adjacents. As those open players, use them.
Feels like Mountain Ridge has tried to really go vertical on a lot of their clears and been a challenge to be able to get that really dialed in here, giving Park City opportunities to get possessions back quickly. Neff working right in front. Boy, good ball movement once again, and it leads to another Park City goal.
Yeah, that was a great little crease roll there. Get the backside, get that ponytail of the defender, catch the ball, and turn and release. I think you're right. I think you did say that was Neff. Neff is a dual athlete. That means she plays more than one sport. The other sports that she plays is she's very competitive and on the ski team up at Park City.
I still can't tell if that far wing is 10 or 18.
Oh, your guess is
if
better
it's
than mine.
18, then it's Sydney Hatcher. We had talked about potentially Lyles back in that first quarter, but I think 18, if it is the freshman Sydney Hatcher. Neff is 19. Again, these Park City numbers, when you're up close, super easy to read. When you're in a press box, they're not. So we appreciate your patience with us as we try to call out players and names, doing our best, and it can be a challenge. 10-6, the advantage for the visitors.
Nice.
Defending 5A champions. Here's Neff back behind goal. Oh, good feed in front.
Nice.
And another Park City goal. Back-to-back goals for the Miners. This one,
goal.
oh, they waved it off. Crease violation.
That was such a pretty catch, though. Just the athleticism behind that. Good catch. Good look to shoot, but unfortunately, footing just wasn't right.
Good eyes, Kenzie. I thought that would have been
It's hard to see those gray lines.
It is. Yeah. It is. Mountain Ridge now trying to push ahead before Park City can settle, but that D getting back for the Miners. Olmsted gives this over. This is Hanks. Here's Chalk. Good feed to Clark. And a call here will set up Emery Clark from 8.
Should we set up for the 8-meter opportunity? Emery's super fun to watch for these. Sometimes she gives a good rip-off. Sometimes she runs in and is able to do some good finesse shots. So let's see.
We saw her score off of one of these in that second quarter. She'll come in, working in front and scoring. Emery Clark with the goal.
Beautiful finesse, as we were mentioning. She was able to tuck her stick in, protect it, able to get it back out into a good whipping lane, and shot that goal.
Second goal of the game for Emery.
So in the off season for Emery, she's actually a basketball player. So, a lot of that stuff does translate over. A lot of lacrosse players play basketball as well. And that defensive footwork and the attacking mindset and that teamwork all crosses over. And so that definitely helps her as she does transition into lacrosse. Good transitioning sports.
Big fan of multi-sport athletes. I think it makes a big difference.
Absolutely. I think they definitely overlap with each other. And I think every coach would stand behind it saying, we'd love for you to play more than one sport, no matter what it is.
7:05 to go. And Park City off the draw. Boy, Mountain Ridge nearly had it. They're still trying to pressure. But it is Icabelli coming up with it. Here's Crawford. This worked out. That was Rogan Crawford. Back with Neff. Cut it right through the middle. Going top shelf and scoring. Coco Crawford with the goal.
Yeah, Coco had an excellent lane. I was waiting for something like that to happen. We had that backer. That backer kept running side to side, watching ball behind X, and Crawford was able to find that lane, get that catch, and rip off a clean shot. Overall, great job. If she didn't have the lane, I think she would have been almost sixes if that defender would have moved to get a shooting space. Because, for example, if you are new to lacrosse, a defender can watch ball on the front side of cage, but they are not exempt from shooting space, but they are exempt from 3 seconds.
Out of the air, Mountain Ridge able to possess.
I'm honestly super, not surprised, that's not the right word. Thrilled that Park City is not getting caught off by the quarters. They probably obviously practice this at practice, but a lot of players get a little bit back and forth as a midfielder when every quarter the goalie is switching around, especially in this new design of girls lacrosse.
Park City running pressure here at Chalk. She's running out of room. A call there. We'll keep it here with Mountain Ridge.
Yep, they'll be going back on the dot as that is a foul. It is a whistle start.
Talk about different players for the Miners. Obviously, they return a lot off of last year's squad, but that pressure, that defense, it's very much the same as what we've seen from previous squads for Coach Mickey Clayton. Here's Chalk. Being pushed out wide. And how about the track down? Boy, we haven't talked about Woolley a lot tonight. She's racing back to cage as she gets there, and now Laurel Johnson trying to work this up, but ran out of room, stepped out. It'll be Mountain Ridge possession.
Unfortunate. I think she didn't really know where the lines were, but good on the goalie for getting out with that confidence and getting that ground ball. She did great. I love to see those type of things. Getting that eighth defender, that's what she is. She is a goalie, but she's an eighth defender, and that is where you take some capitalization from.
Can make such a big difference when you've got a goalie that's athletic enough to run some of those either on backups or to win possessions like in that scenario. Is Mountain Ridge here once again. We'll start with Guyman. Boy, Park City felt like they were starting that time. Guyman coming in. Works back. This is Emery. Good vision and a goal. Emery Clark with one of those assists that you talked about she's been focusing on. And Carly Farnsworth with the Sentinel goal.
Great teamwork, swinging it from X all the way up to the elbow. Finding that lane amongst 3 minor defenders and shooting that shot off. That goalie has a fast reactor and great agility, but unfortunately, that one did get past her for the Sentinels.
So 4 to go here in the third, back to a 3-goal contest. Mountain Ridge has done a nice job of battling back.
Yeah, that redefend has been excellent. Honestly, on both teams, they're both fighting hard out there, trying to utilize every moment they have on their attacking end and just staying strong as a unit on the defending end. Here at the draw, it stayed pretty 50-50 from my perspective on the draws. Everyone's fighting an equal amount and winning them equal amounts.
And this possessed by Hanks and Mountain Ridge. A lot of space for the Sentinels. Shot and a save.
Nice save. That's the agility I was talking about with the goalie. That was awesome. She stepped to the ball, body behind ball, caught it with her net, able to get out of cage, out of circle, and clear it up the field. Great goalie.
I love Cannon taking that shot. You got so much room, all the build-up for that. Try to get quick goals. That's just a great play made by the junior Woolley.
Absolutely.
And now Park City setting up. Do we have snow falling?
I sure hope not.
Yeah, we do. You know what can protect you from snow? Your igloo.
I need one of them. It's cold out here.
Would you like to try it?
Absolutely.
We're going to give Kenzie an opportunity. There you go. We'll let her give a live read in this fourth quarter. They keep you plenty warm. Here's McHenry. Boy, look at her navigate this double team. And there will be a call. This is going to be life-changing, Kenzie.
I'm excited. I had to ask for help on it, getting it open, because my focus is right locked on this screen.
It's a wearable sleeping bag, waterproof.
Ooh, okay.
It's amazing. Big fan. The start for Park City. McHenry, the shot on the goal.
Slow claps for that one. That was great. She was able to get that step on the defender, arms out and open, full velocity, as she was able to shoot through for an excellent shot. Oh, just slow claps for that one. That was good.
Well, and you got to love the ball fakes there as well, because it created the opportunity for her to get that on frame.
Is it like those? Okay, I'm looking at like a sleeping bag jacket over. Oh, and it's fuzzy on the inside.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So you can either drape it over or you can step into it, Kenzie.
I'll drape it over. We'll get some nice on action. Live reviews right here.
We head back to the draw.
I'm just saying how I feel, man. I ain't one of the guys who dying go to heal, man. I get the money to the change, I guess I should have forgot where I came from.
Redraw. So redraw is when both players maybe move a little bit, or one goes before the other and they can't really tell where it comes from, so it's a redraw. But I do gotta say, no one's getting cold in one of these. This is nice and cozy.
It's nice, huh?
Oh yeah. Good old zip up all the way to the neck.
You can tuck the arms in and zip up the armholes, so it's all nice and cozy.
Like you do with your hoodies when you're real cold. Well, guess what? You don't have to. You have this.
Here comes Emery Clark and the Sentinels.
So what you see right now is the officials pulling her back to the side that the foul happened on, moving her back to the dot. It will be a whistle start. Her teammates are helping her out for sure. Look at this. They have a good open lane. Actually,
yeah.
Park City saw that. They had an open lane, pulling all the attackers to the top.
Oh, had a teammate right in front. That was Guyman. Couldn't quite possess it. And we've got another card coming here.
I think it was unfortunately another check to the head. you know, people have pros and cons with their own opinions. Actually, I don't know why the double whistle was. Oh, you know what it was? It was not a card. We just saw the X and assumed so. What it was is that her goggles are off. You have to make sure all players are safe. She stopped it for a second, made sure to put her goggles on, and moved on. There was a foul, but not a yellow card.
I saw her reach in, and I thought that...
I thought so, yeah.
Yeah.
That's where you anticipate the moves, and that one wasn't. But we do have a great move about to happen with an 8-meter opportunity. We do got 2 strong minors on both sides, but a lot of room to make that goal.
This will be Hanks, Kimber. Coming in, trying to get that shot over her shoulder, fed back in front. And Park City here going to be called for in the sphere again.
That was a good crash on defense for the 8-meter opportunity. They got their sticks up, out of her sphere, good positioning. Made a bad pass happen, or shot happen.
A little bit of false start there.
I don't think it was false start. They had the wrong player, I think, behind. That's what the double whistle was.
Okay. I thought I saw her step in, so.
She could have. She could have reacted to the whistle of the, hey, player, come here.
Final 40 seconds.
Nice. We got to center hash. No better place to be.
Yeah, Taya Chalk with a windup, and that was just wide. Ball's tracked down behind the goal here by Farnsworth. Clark. Boy, look at how many minors come over on Emery. And the whistle here in the sphere. Final 10 seconds. Got to hurry here.
As a defender, you know, her stick is tempting to check. She keeps it so high, but you got to be safe with those type of players because most of the time it goes in their sphere.
And the quarter expired. Yeah. Quarter expires, so we are through 3. 12-8 Park City. Continuing with the lead, we head to the 4th and final quarter. You're watching KSL Sports Rewind's Game of the Week on KSLSports.com. Welcome back. We want to thank our sponsors that make this stream possible on KSL Sports Rewind. Heidman & Associates is a full-service law firm with locations along the Wasatch Front, and it's a full-service law firm. If you have any legal needs, the experts at Heidman & Associates can take care of you. All you got to do is give them a call, tell them Rewind sent you. They'll give you a free consultation. Just call 801-472-7742 or visit them online at utah.law. And, of course, we want to thank Igloo Outfitters. Kenzie's wearing one right now.
Keeping me nice and toasty.
When you're out in spring weather in Utah, you're going to want your Igloo. It keeps you warm, protected from the elements. They're fantastic. Check them out online, Igloo Outfitters, IGLU, igloooutfitters.com. Enter Rewind for a promo code for $20 off your Igloo.
Nice clear. That was, seeing on the field, that was a great shot, saved by the goalie, and a beautiful clear out so far. Well, I spoke too soon, but overall, that was pretty good. Great clear, great catch and from the defending end. Park City's definitely stepping up their speed.
And given how that second quarter went, it was a 7-3 second quarter, but it was a 7-0 run from Park City. This is just a 4-goal game. Mountain Ridge gets a goal or two. They've got an opportunity to win this one at home, but they really got to start to capitalize off of their opportunities.
Absolutely. Taking all those opportunities, but also they're ahead. So if you have a
nice. Oh, no, that was just wide.
I was going to say, if you have hesitation, then hold it out and wait for another teammate. But there was no hesitation there because that was a great feed to the inside. But that goalie is just too fast on her feet for those shots.
Boy, defense just lost Cannon, and Emery was able to find her, but couldn't capitalize. And now we've got a stoppage here.
All right, go into the pocket.
We're going to be patient.
We are. We can learn. We learn from my mistakes.
I do think we're going to get a card.
I do think so, too. I think her fingers are frozen.
The anticipation. There you go. Yep. Yeah. So, again, Mountain Ridge will go man up here one more time. Scored a goal off their opportunity late in the second quarter. And now we'll have 2 more minutes with an extra player.
Yeah, 8-meter opportunity right here. She has 2 girls open on her left wing. We'll see if she takes the shot or... try something else.
And this will be Taya Chalk. And yeah, I saw a stick come up there. Are we going to get another card? I think so.
I think you're right. That poor. I've been in their shoes. When your fingers are cold, it's hard to get those cards out.
Well, and I was surprised Chalk didn't take the shot, but we've seen how aggressive Park City's been today defensively.
Absolutely. Well, that's the thing too. If you don't have 100% confidence in yourself, pull it out and look for a teammate. That's what she did, but unfortunately, she found a stick to the head instead.
And now it's a two-player difference. Another timely save there for Woolley.
She just wanted to hug. She just wanted to hug. It's cold out there.
So Park City, again, 2 players down here off the 2 cards. How aggressive are you if you're Park City? You just try to run this off?
I think every team's different, and if you have a lane of opportunity, take it. But if not, yeah, pass that ball around, tire out Mountain Ridge a little bit, and let the time play on.
We saw them attack when they were down 1. That a big save made there by Sanders.
Nice.
As again, Neff, no concern with being aggressive on the attack.
We did have a flag. It's pulling her up to the center hash with an 8-meter opportunity. So this is the moment you would want to take it, right?
Yeah, Sophie Neff, I think you got an opportunity here. You talk about momentum, scoring with being down 2. Or having a 2 players sitting right now off. Mm-hmm. And you see Park City again. Probably not a bad decision.
No.
About another minute or so that they've got.
But Neff's used to the snow. I thought she was going to do like a fake pass, turn, and rip it. I had high hopes for that. But you know what? This is a safe option. This is a good option to be a good teammate, right?
This is a win the war move, right?
Absolutely.
Not worried about the battle. We're winning the war.
We're winning the war.
Yep.
All right, this is their first game of the season.
Feels like a home game because it's a wintry mix.
Yeah. We're in a snow globe right now.
Starting to stick on the bleachers as well. I don't think my fruit trees are going to take well to this.
I love that's where your head went. I'm over here thinking I do not have a brush for my car.
Park City back on the possession. They've been so good as one of the players coming back on. Actually, I think they're both back.
Yeah, I think they ran down both of those cards, which was great. We're even stacked numbers right now. There was no check down here on Park City. Unfortunately, I think she just lost the ball in the cradle. But Mountain Ridge was able to capitalize on that ground ball and make it down to their attacking end, which is phenomenal, with a lot of team effort here.
Approaching 8 to go. And this will come back out, and it'll be Cannon, I believe, set up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's going on the 12. I think, for me, it's a little easier to see as it's gotten a little darker out here. The 12, and she'll just be going with the whistle start.
Working in front, Clark. Draws the whistle here. Again, running clock until the final 2 minutes.
All right, we saw Emory now take 2 opportunities like this, and here comes her third.
Willie's made some nice saves for Park City in this second half. Clark coming in, ducking under, and that shot, couldn't tell if Willie got a piece. I think she did.
I think she did as well. If not, her best friend did, the pole, and it's not in her net. That's what's the best thing that happened. It's not in the back of the cage.
And here's Park City finding another gear. How about this attack? You see the speed, distancing herself, a lot of room here.
Great stride. So it's lots of speed headed down the field.
I think that was McGee able to bring it up for the Miners. That loose as Sanders able to gather.
You can hear the coaches down there saying short. My assumption is because her mesh is soaked. That makes it a lot harder to throw. I feel like any player that's played lacrosse can testify for that. Having a wet stringing or mesh is hard to play with.
Park City able to sit up here once again. Just kept here, thanks to the stick there of Pulio. McGee.
Staying strong with that backer defense, super smart. You know, Park City's capitalized on that before, with knowing that one defender has 2 players.
McGee dicing through, working in front, shot in the goal, fitting that right under the crossbar. What a shot from McGee.
She went right, she went left, and she went right into the goal. That was awesome. All that dodging footwork, and she kept it simplified. She wasn't doing anything crazy. Her stick wasn't whipping around. Her body wasn't flailing any which way. She kept herself composed as she was snaking like a snake through those defenders.
I mean, she navigated 3 or 4 defenders there for Mountain Ridge, and how about the shot placement right over the shoulder, right under the crossbar. That's a heck of a shot there for the junior.
Great play. Great play. Those are good highlighted moments for those players.
A goal that certainly makes it tough for Mountain Ridge. A 5-goal difference, and this ties for the largest lead of the night for Park City.
Some of these girls are doing like that shake and leg I'm cold dance out there.
Yeah.
No matter how much you run, your skin is still cold.
Yeah.
And wet. That's the hard thing. When you're cold and wet, that's rough.
Yep.
But that ain't stopping
Never
this
played
player.
lacrosse in these conditions, but have played soccer in these conditions, and it can be tough.
Absolutely.
It can be tough. This one tracked down, kept here by Cannon. Park City able to scoop that up, and now looking for the clear. McGee. Park City's been good in the middle, in the midfield.
Absolutely. And I think that comes from their coach. Mickey is a phenomenal player. She played D1. She's been an assistant at Park City for a couple years, I think 18 and 19 and 2020. She was JV or varsity assistant, and now she's here at head coach, making huge strides, putting her skills from the field that she was on now into her players. And I think it really shows when you have a coach knowing what they're doing, just on both sides. I'm talking for Angie too, on both sides. When you have a coach knowing their skills, knowing their rules, it really elevates the play in the game.
Worked in front, and that one, boy, just wide. That got disrupted as it came out on the shot. And now Mountain Ridge, well, they can have numbers if they can hurry. And that was just a touch tall for Farnsworth.
It's a little bit of some back and forth. And honestly, it's hard. It's hard to play in these kind of conditions.
And that's been the
best they
difference,
can.
right? We
It
talk
really
about
is.
how good Park City's been in the middle of the field, and Mountain Ridge has tried to really get out on the
Get
run,
those gains,
especially
yeah.
in the midfield, and they haven't been able to capitalize on that, and it has led to some one and dones, and haven't been able to get into their offense.
Yep.
Anderson,
We have a Park City player running off the field. Looks like she may be hurt. Hopefully she's all right.
yeah, it is a bit of a limp there. That might.
That was a little bit of a sticky pass there. That goalie was out of cage, and she passed to her defender that was near cage. If that ball would have dropped, not so good for them. But they kept possession, which is awesome. Great trust, and they've already made it down to their attacking end.
I think Woolie's played good today.
Absolutely.
She hasn't faced a plethora of shots.
Absolutely. Mhm.
But third and fourth quarter, when Mountain Ridge was trying to make that push and close back to a 3-goal, 2-goal game, she made some really critical saves, including on some 8-meter opportunities.
Absolutely. Yeah, she's taken some high pressure in her first
Yep.
game, and I think this is probably the best game that I think they're non-region. It is non-region.
Yeah.
Best game they could have put against each other.
Worked in front, and another Park City goal. And again, we see that passing of Park City, crisp and looking in mid-season form here tonight.
Super clean. She was kind of running forward. She was able to catch that ball and release it for a great shot. She kind of went a little bit of a sidearm. Nothing wrong with it because it got her the goal. Everything's great. There's a lot of different ways to shoot off a goal, and that was just one special way.
And you talk about the conditions. I mean, you score a goal, And it's all right. I got to warm up my hands. I still got 2:45 to go.
Yeah.
It's a chilly night.
Mm-hmm.
14-8. The advantage for the visitors from Park City. Talk about for Park City's first game of the year. They got an out-of-state opponent coming up next. Take on Foothill. Not familiar with that program.
Is it California?
I'm not familiar with that program.
We'll do some research, yeah. They got some challenges ahead of them. That's what makes them so awesome. They don't put themselves against anybody weaker than themselves. They push themselves against the hardest competition, and that's exactly what they're doing here. Oh, yep. Yep, that was in the sphere. She got her spacing, though. That's exactly what she wanted and needed.
Mountain Ridge, meanwhile, they'll head back to take on Fremont. So another Region 1 opponent coming up for the Sentinels as they'll get back within 6A competition. But these are the games, win or lose, you learn about a lot about your team, right? You go up against the best of the best. You figure out where you're at, where your opportunities are to work, because when you get ready for the 6A playoffs, you're going to have to go up against a lot of really good teams, and there's probably no better team than Park City if you want to see, hey, where do we have some things to work on? Park City's going to help showcase that because they're so well coached.
Nice shot and goal. That was beautiful. She was working through all those defenders, and there was 2 to 3 there, able to maneuver her hands with a great shot off. There was a lot happening there. Wasn't anticipating a goal, but that was great for them. Park City is a hard competition to go against, no matter what team you are. And I think, you know, everybody has their work put out for them their first game. No matter who you play, what you play. You learn from each other. You learn from each game. No matter if you win by a certain amount or lose by a certain amount, you learn something and you grow as a team. Right? And so that's what they're doing here. They may be a few points shy from what Mountain Ridge has, but they are still out there doing their best.
And that's where when we talk about this game, a 7-0 run in the second, and now what's a 4-0 run in this fourth quarter.
I've been looking at the score backwards this whole time. That is awesome, Park City. Good for you guys. Way to go, Mountain Ridge, for all your hard efforts.
So Mountain Ridge here to start chalk. Clark. Mountain Ridge got down to within 3. It trailed by 5 in the second, got as close as 3. Woolley shut the door on a couple of opportunities. Park City's now pushed this to the largest lead of the game. Trying to work that in front. That was tough to handle, and Woolley with possession.
I think one of my favorite things, I don't know if it necessarily happened right there because the lines are hard to see, but one of my favorite things is goalies just have to have that toe inside that crease for them to reach out and get a ground ball.
That pass couldn't be gathered in, so Mountain Ridge will have the possession. Cannon to bring in. Chalk. Farnsworth. Try to give that backside to Cannon.
Good ground ball. That's super clean. Those are the ground balls coaches love to see, just running through it.
Our clock's a little ahead. We're down just inside of 20 seconds now. Park City, super impressive, Kenzie, what we've seen from the Miners tonight on the road. Final seconds here for Mountain Ridge, and that will do it. Park City trailed early, a big second quarter, and a finishing touch fourth quarter as the Miners get the 15-8 win. Kenzie, your final thoughts and then a selection of a player of the game.
I think this game was absolutely phenomenal for both teams. I think it was a game that they both excelled at. Despite any setbacks, they all played great. I don't think there's not a moment that each one of them should not be proud of. Overall, it was just a well-played game, and great job to both coaches. I think Wooly is really stepping up in Kimchi's shoes, and I think she might be the next Kimchi, you know. Hopefully not talking too soon, but she's been doing phenomenal out there. The agileness, to be able to just get her body behind ball, she's doing phenomenal, and she definitely is taking some good cues from a great leader.
Who's your player of the game?
Wooly, absolutely.
All right.
Wooly did phenomenal. I really am excited to keep watching her through this season. She did great.
The junior Marcella Woolley, the goalie for Park City, helps keep at bay a late Mountain Ridge push and allow that offense to create the late separation. 15-8 your final score, Park City, handing Mountain Ridge their first loss of the year. For Vince Francis, Kenzie Christiansen, my name is Dane Stewart. Thank you for joining us. A reminder, we've got games for you all the way up to state championships, 6A, 5A, 4A. No one brings you more lacrosse coverage than KSL Sports Rewind. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time only on KSLSports.com. Good night, everybody.